everyone, welcome to Carrie's Crochet and Craft. I feel like I have a lot to share with you today. This is my weekly update for my destashing, my great effort to get rid of or use up the yarn that I have. I'm trying not to buy a whole lot more yarn, but sometimes there's a good deal and you just can't pass up on it, or there's something that you see that, you don't have. Well, there's one thing that I bought this week, and I want to compare it right now because I went to a Dollar Tree, and this is a new Dollar Tree, and I'm super excited because the other Dollar Trees near me are in Washington. I live in Oregon, and so we have income tax here, not sales tax. So in Washington, though, there's no income tax, but there's a sales tax. So the larger town that's near us is in Washington, so we pretty much have to pay sales tax on things that we buy. There are stores here on the Oregon side too, but not as many. And both Dollar Trees that have been in this area have been in Washington. So when I go shopping, it's great, $1.25, but add tax to that. But a new Dollar Tree just opened up here on the Oregon side, and I'm super excited because no more sales tax, but same great stuff. Anyway, I went there today for the first time. They just opened up, I think, on Thursday. And not all their shelves are full yet, but it was fun to go in there and see what they have. We got a few things, and one thing that I got was in the yarn section. They have a yarn section. I'm really excited. they have the chenille, and then they have the just yarn, the worsted regular. I didn't see any other types of yarns really that stood out to me, but I was like looking at all the just chenille yarn, and I'm like, yeah, I have all of those colors, except they have this brown color, and I've seen it in the other stores, and I looked at the name of it and I'm like, I don't know about that. Because this is the new yarn. It's not really new. They call it Cocoa, which they've already had a brown called Cocoa, but it was this color. And I'm like, it's darker. Same name, but a darker brown, which I'm really excited about because browns are hard to come by in yarns. This is a really great color. This is a nice color too. I wish they would have both of them. This one I have in a spool. I couldn't find my box with my big spools of just chenille to be able to pull it out, so I had to pull out my giraffe leg that I have going on here so I could compare. But I know this was named Cocoa, and so we have two Cocos. This is the darker brown, the newer is darker, which is a beautiful color. So I had to get one just so I could compare, because in my mind I knew this was a darker brown than the original Cocoa. So anyway, I'm super excited about that. Get to making some stuff. I've been doing more things with blanket yarn lately instead of my just chenille. Just kind of trying to use up my blanket yarn, I guess. I really do like working with the just chenille though. It's super soft, and I like the size of critters that come out from it. So they are smaller than with blanket yarn. So if you want to charge a higher price, for the time that you spend on it, people will pay more for the bigger item than they will for the smaller item that you spend the same amount of time on. But I typically figure if I charge for this size what is worth my time, then for the larger ones I charge a little bit more because, well, the yarn is more expensive, right? Anyway, so that is a first update for today, even though it's not really having to do with my destashing. Just wanted to share that because I was excited to see the darker brown. Okay. So, what have I been working on this week to work on my stash of yarn? I went back to my Forever Fleece, this time in Matcha. It's a lovely kind of dusty green, sagey green color. Matcha green, I guess. So I completed another one of these in that. And then, of course, I made the booties to match. Let me find them here in my basket of goodies. I made a lot of fun stuff this week. Okay, still trying to find it. Where is it? Oops, dropping stuff now. Okay, well, oh, there it is. I found it. I was just going to show you the one booty and move on from there. So here are the little green booties that I've been making. And then these are the buttons I chose to go with those. I really like how those kind of coordinate with the little booties. So another set, blanket and booties done. I did not have enough yarn to make the little mini hems, unfortunately. I tried, but it wasn't enough. I could have, I don't know, I might have another skein of this. So if I do, maybe I'll come back in and make, I don't know where to put this. Make the hen out of it too. Okay, after that, I did make some plushies, but I think I will show those all at once because I kind of made them interspersed between making these blankets. Oopsie, dropping stuff. Oh, so with that blanket, I did use up 3 skeins. Okay. Then I moved on to making another one of those striped blanket, Bernat blanket blankets. Bernat blanket yarn blankets. And this one was really fun. And while I was making it, it just reminded me of growing up. I don't know if you remember back in the 80s especially. I don't know how long they continued having ice cream packaged in this way, but in the 80s, I'm thinking 85, 86, 87, I don't even know what brand, store brand, they would package ice cream in boxes that you can, you know, open up, lift up the flap. You could like open up the end and scoop it out, or you could lift up the flap and then pull down the sides and then you could slice it. And you'd have sliced ice cream to eat. And my grandparents would buy the orange sherbet and vanilla. So half of the ice cream, you know, I think it was the long ways, and so half was vanilla and half was orange sherbet. And so you'd get a slice of it and you'd have a little slice of each. And then I would put either Hershey syrup or, if we had it, the hardened shell, the chocolate shell. Oh, that was so much fun. And so when I was making this blanket, it just reminded me of that. So here we are. I used melon with, I don't know, vanilla or, oh no, this was coconut. And then just a brown, I don't know what brown it was because it was one that was in an Ogo. So there, doesn't that look like the vanilla orange ice cream slices with the chocolate on top? I just love this combo so much. So anyway, yep, there's another one of those blankets. And this, I thought it was a different brand of yarn. I thought it was just a different brand altogether because it felt so much different than the Bernat blanket. But then I was looking at the label and it's Bernat blanket. I think it must be the new recipe, however you want to term that. I did not enjoy working this. I like how it feels in here, but working with it, it felt really rough on my fingers as it was sliding through my grip. It felt really rough. And I think I'm realizing, I think I did this in white and this is coconut. I think I grabbed the wrong skein of yarn to do that with. Oops. I'm not taking it out. It is definitely white versus, I don't know if you can see it that well. This is just a little bit more creamy colored. Well, shoot. Oh well. It still looks nice. Maybe I'll have to see if I can make another one of these though, because I love that color combo. Okay, so again though, those did not use up a full skein. For the melon, I didn't use a full skein. For the coconut, it did not use a full skein. And of course the brown is Ogos, and it just used up 2 sections of 2 different Ogos. So it was great that I made that, but it did not actually use up a full skein of yarn. Now of the melon, there's actually, well, no, there's still a little bit left of that. I'm thinking of a pink skein that I have that doesn't have very much. So anyway, I made it, but it didn't use up any skeins in total. So another thing I did, you guys remember I made these, if you were here with me last winter, for the Christmas season, I was making these teddy bear hats. I found this pattern through Cameron's Cute Creations. It's not her pattern, it's one that she found that she uses, and I'll try to find the link, and if I forget, please remind me and I'll put it in there. But it's a really cute teddy bear hat, very simple. And last year I had made all the hats, and then I'd made the ears and I'd stuck them inside the hats, and then I was sitting there adding the ears on later, and I came to this hat and I had only one ear. So I was trying to decide, do I try to find more of this yarn, which I think it's a tweed, which I love this color, and I think I saw some in Walmart even, so I could get some more. But I was trying to decide, do I just sell it without the ears on it, or find some more yarn? So anyway, I was clearing off my desk. I have a bunch of yarn, leftover yarn bits on my desk, and I actually found a strand of this yarn that was just, and I mean just, long enough to make the second ear for this. So I now have a complete teddy bear hat. Technically, I guess I did use the last bit of a skein. I don't have the label for it though, and I'm just not going to count it. I just wanted to show you that I found enough yarn to make an ear for it. Okay, so if you remember my turtles that I made, it had the forest moss for the shells, and even though I made the 2 turtles, it did not use up an entire skein. So I decided to use up the rest of that skein, and I made snakes. This one I made first. I have a pattern that calls for a large version and a small version, and I just dug into it without even realizing that I was making the large version first. Let's see here if I so it's by the designer Sin_Toys, you can see right here, and it's a free pattern, Instagram Sin_Toys, and the same for YouTube. So they have that pattern there, and they have a large snake down here, and then a second pattern on the other page for a smaller snake. So I made this one first, and that's how long I made it. You can hang around your neck like that. Really cute, but that did not use up the whole skein, and so I started in on the small snake and got that one. Now this one did use up the very last of that skein, but I didn't feel it was long enough, so I actually got a second skein of the forest moss and started in on that one and made it a little bit longer. So there's that. So that used up another skein of, or a skein of forest moss. Okay. Then for the brown that was in this blanket, the orange sherbet blanket, I had a little bit of the brown left, and so it used 2 different sections of 2 different ogos of the brown, and for each of those there was just a little bit left, and so I ended up using both of those little bits of sections, and I made this bunny pattern. It's not done. I need to get some pink yarn in here and make a little X right here for a nose, but this is an adorable pattern. I'd actually made, oh, I need the tail on this one too. I'd made this one first actually, because I had some of this light gray yarn that I was trying to use up, so I did use that up on this and then some others as well. So I do have the label for that, but I'm gonna get it out in a minute. So I made this one first. Super cute bunny pattern. I need to get the pink yarn out, and I don't have worsted weight yarn around me all the time, so I need to come in here and find it. So anyway, I just need to make an X right there for the nose, and then it'll be done. So both that one and this one. So I still don't think I can count the brown as using up a full skein yet, though. You really just finished using up the 2 sections. So I need to use up the rest of another brown skein in order to count that as a full skein used up. So this bunny pattern is by My Alpaca Studio, and that's what it looks like. So that's just what I need to add there. They used gray, but I might use gray, I might use pink, because I think in another picture here they show pink. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, on this one, I think they used like I don't know if it's white or pink, but you can use different colors for the noses. So, anyway, really cute bunny. I love it so much. It sits nice and flat. Boop. So, and I love the tail. So then, with that same gray, actually what I had was a light pink left over. What was I making with the light pink? Oh, it was that plaid pink and white, or pink and red and variegated plaid blanket. I had some pink left over with that, and it really wasn't very much. I still haven't used it all up though, but I decided to get some yarn out to use that up as much as I could. And I also had some light gray, this gray right here, to use up from something I was working on previously. Can't remember what. Anyway, I pulled out my opossum pattern, and I got 3 opossums made. So you can see pink for the nose there, and then pink for the tails. And then also I was using pink to fill in the ears there. I still haven't used up that skein though. There's really not much left. Maybe I'll get it used up this week. So anyway, got 3 opossums done, the 2 bunnies, and I did, however, use up the gray. So I did finish up that gray. Okay, then over the weekend I was working on, I have a blanket started for my son and his girlfriend. It's going to be an engagement present to them. It's still going to be at least a year or 2 till they, probably a year maybe till they get engaged. I don't know. They're talking marriage all the time, but they're still in college and they want to wait till they're done. Lots of things there. Anyway, once my son was telling me, yeah, I think she's the one, I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on a blanket. I didn't tell him though. But this is the blanket I'm working on, and I have shown it before. Marion Mitchell of Wool Thread Paint. She makes beautiful, beautiful. They're almost all granny square blankets. Beautiful. I have like probably 5 or 6 others of her patterns that I'm going to be working on. And after I'm done with this one, I'm going to be working on another one of them for their wedding present. So I think I have the yarn already for one of them. It might be the vintage something, but she likes pink, and so there is, and that, I think the vintage one does have some pinks in it, but there's another one that's like a cherry blossom one, and I think it's got a lot of pinks in it, so I might make that one instead of the other one. But anyway, this one is called the Beach Walk blanket, and I was, you know, I'm pretty close to being done. Here's what I have so far. Kind of hard to show. I've shown it before, but it was about like this, where I didn't show much except little segments here and there. But it's just, I love these. I love these. You get a pop of color there with a tomato and a mustard color. But other than that, most of these colors are pretty muted. And she does a great job of bringing them in and spreading the colors out. Each of these granny squares is different, like each one, except for the mini. There's mini granny squares here. These right here, mini grannies. So those are not individuals, but all of these other, what are they, 4-row grannies, they're all different. And so I am on the last row. Let's see if I can show a better picture here. So this picture right here, so I have done all the way to here, and I needed to do these grannies here. I just finished them this weekend. There's 52 of them, all different for this side. Don't forget these and these. There's a lot of granny squares. So anyway, I just finished these, so now I need to attach them to this, and it uses the crochet as you go. So I'll be attaching them onto here, and then there'll be like 4 or 5 rounds for the edging after I get all those attached. So I got all these done, and in doing so, I finally, it's really hard to use up a skein of these, but I finally, what happened to it? Oh, it fell. Sorry. I finally used up, I have used up a couple skeins, but I finally used up one skein. This is in the color Graphite, and it's Stylecraft Batik DK, 80% acrylic, 20% wool. And yeah, these are small 50-gram skeins. So I finally used one up. There's other ones that are really close to being used up, but they're not going to get used up. In fact, there's one that was so close, and I almost counted it. But you could actually get like more rounds of granny squares out of it. So I didn't count it as being done yet, even though what I had to do to save it is I folded the label, and then I wrapped the rest of the yarn around it like that. Anyway, that skein's done. Okay, so I got all those squares done. Sorry, I'm picking up things that are dropping here. Then I pulled out, oh, here's some news. I have 2 things of news. First one, I'll show you what I made, and then another. So the gal who's been planning that spring fling, the big market coming up in May that I want to be a part of, the place we were going to have it, if you watch my other video, you heard me talk about how the place that we've had it the last 2 years, they pretty much basically didn't want the event to be there in that town, because they kept on adding more fees and more fees and more fees, and they wanted her to sign a contract that said, oh, and there might be more fees that you're obligated to pay if you sign this contract. So it was going to cost a lot of money, and it just became obvious that they didn't want this event held there. And so then it became an issue of, do we keep trying to plan this? Do we find another place, or do we just say, forget it? She's been working really hard to find a spot, and it sounds like, it's not official yet, but it sounds like she's found a spot, and she says it's perfect. We're gonna love it. But the person who needs to sign the authorization or whatever was out of the office until this next Tuesday. So hopefully on Tuesday we will know for sure that this event is taking place, and she won't tell anybody where it is yet. So we'll see. I'm sure it's going to be somewhere fairly local. But anyway, so that got me, of course, into making more plushies, of course. But each year she has a theme for the event. Was it a camel one? I don't know. We have a camel in the valley, in the extended valley. There's a family that has a camel, and actually that camel, Izzy the camel, died a year and a half ago. It's really sad. He was an icon in our valley, an actual camel here. So he was at the event 2 years ago, and then I think I can't remember if he was at the event last year. I didn't go last year. Anyway, so maybe it was just in the last year, but this family did some fundraising, and they were able to get a young camel So we have another camel in the area, but he's young yet, and he's still, you know, getting used to being around people and whatnot. But I think they'll have him at this event too if they can. Anyway, that's an aside point. Anyway, she usually does a theme of some kind, and I don't know, I can't remember what some of the themes are, but the theme for this year is going to be Highland cows. So I thought, I know there are patterns out there for Highland cow stuffies, so I went and found a couple, and one of them I started making, and I had the perfect color just sitting there in near my desk, in one of my piles of yarn there. And let me find the one here. And so I started making it, and this is what it is. A little Highland cow, little chunky guy, so cute. So he's got a muzzle, and I don't like how I sewed this one on. I ended up sewing them on differently. Anyway, it's got a muzzle, the eyes, and then ears, horns, and then tasseled hair up top. It's got fun little feet to stand on, and then a little tail. So cute. I love these, and I used up the rest of that skein making these, and this one is almost done. It's actually supposed to have like little black yarn making nostrils there. So cute. I love it so much. And I used up the rest of the yarn, and I made these are not finished by any means, because I ran out of the yarn. This is orange leaf, and I don't think local Joann's has it. So I need to get some from online. But I made these 4, oops, I can't see them. Let's see if we can bend it down some. So I made these 4, and then I had enough to start in on a 5th, but only this one is pretty much completed except for the nostrils. These, I was starting to make just like as many bodies as I could, and then I was going to go back in and add in the ears and the hair and the tails. And I could have done it with this skein since, you know, it was only a partial skein, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna get some more anyway, because I want to have a lot, because I'm hoping these will be a big hit since it's a Highland cow theme. People are gonna know that, and they're gonna see the Highland cows, and they're gonna be like, oh. So I found this pattern on Etsy. Let's see if I brought it in here. I did. I found some other really cute patterns on Etsy too. I didn't want to buy all of them though and commit to like 5 different patterns. I got 2 different patterns, and I committed to making this one first. And then I have a second pattern, and I'll show you that one if I get around to it. But this one is by Coffee in Crochet 01, Instagram, and what's that, TikTok. So anyway, there you go, Coffee and Crochet 01. I want to say it caffeine crochet. I don't think it's supposed to be caffeine crochet. Coffee and Crochet. So they did it in a brown color. The Highland cows kind of have a reddish color. Sorry, my video caught off there. So as I was saying, I might actually make this in some other colors. So like they have it in the brown there. I actually have some plushy yarns, like the Dollar Tree has a salmon color, maybe or a persimmon color. I'll have to pull those out and see how they compare to this color. So, you know, this is a really simple pattern to make. Everything is sewn in. I was going to mention that too, except for the muzzle. This is crocheted onto it. The ears are crocheted onto it. And then the feet are crocheted as you go, you know, it's just a bobble stitch. So you add them as you're crocheting. And then the tail is crocheted onto it. So the only sewing that's done is this. So it's a really fun, easy pattern to do. And so I might, you know, other colors, more of this color, and then more in other yarn styles as well. And then I'll try out that other pattern that I have as well. And after that, then we'll see about maybe some of these other patterns. So this is so cute. I love it so much. So that and the possums and the bunnies, I'll make I don't know, I might make more of these, but the bunnies I absolutely love as well. So yeah, I'll probably make more of the snakes too. I have other variegated yarns that I think would be really pretty, like this blue. I have lots of this blue yarn to use. Yeah, so, oh, and this yarn too, I think would be nice for the snakes. And I have this in a pink and red pattern too. So anyway, lots of yarns to use up still. And oh, I was about ready to sign off, but I don't know if you've heard more about Joann's. Oops, what's this? Oh, I used up the orange leaf skein, so this is for that. So we'll count how many skeins I used this week. I almost forgot about counting how many skeins we used up. But you know, on Friday there was going to be a court hearing for Joann's about the 500 plus stores that they were going to close. Now, what I didn't realize was involved in all this, and I didn't find out until I watched a video last night from, I think it's MDL Crochets, some fella. He has been following the story, obviously. He apparently, and I'm just taking his word for it, he was in contact with someone regarding the court hearing on Friday, and that those 500 plus stores that they were closing are actually the ones that are being sold to the liquidator. So they are now Gordon's. So the store I have here in town is Gordon's, and they will be liquidating it. So it's not closing right away. They're actually going to like liquidate everything in the store. So it's nice I'm not losing the Joann's right away, but it's really not Joann's anymore, is it? It's just their products in the store that's now Gordon's products. So that being said, the other stores that were not on that list will remain as Joann's. So if you have a Joann's store near you that is not on that list, that yours is going to stay open, it's going to stay as a Joann's. I had thought that it was just going to be they're closing these 500 now, then they're going to continue the bankruptcy procedure, and then they'll close those other like 300. But no, they're going to stay open. So that's exciting for you guys who have a store near you that is staying open. For me, there is actually one that's about an hour away, 45 minutes to an hour. So I still have a Joann's within driving distance. And there will still be, as far as I understand, there will still be online Joann's as well. So it's not going away for good. Just some of the stores are going away. But maybe Joann's will get to a point again where they can build up more naturally and not try, because they made some huge purchases. Like, I think they bought out Fabricland many years ago. And so I think maybe they just kind of got ahead of themselves and trying to expand. I don't know. But they couldn't sustain the amount of stores that they had, I think is really... And there were other issues too, like the supply chain was disrupted. So lots of different issues. But anyway, the main point is Joann's is not going away for good. Some of us will still have stores nearby or somewhat nearby. So yay for that. Okay, how many skeins did I use this week? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, we're sticking to the skein a day. That's awesome. I have so many skeins that I've used partial of though, and it's just like, I want to use these up so I can officially say they're used up. But maybe this week will be better. I'm really pleased though that I'm sticking to the basically skein a day, and let's see if we can stick to it and get 28 plus skeins done this month. Thank you for joining me today with all this exciting yarn stuff going on. We will see you next time. Bye.